I've been watching the Indian Premier League. The cricket has been moved. The T20 tournament that is so immense and um, with players from all over the world coming to India to play has been moved to a bubble in the United Arab Emirates, where what was normally held the IPL tournament in May, April, late April, May, early June, has been moved here to September, October. And 19 matches have passed. Tomorrow, I think, will be the 20th match. So we're not halfway through. We're maybe approaching halfway through. And it has been a remarkable experience. I wake up every morning here in this time zone, and I set it up to project so that I can have the matches on. There are so many things happening here that fascinate me. Among them is the idea that these stadia that have been built in the desert in the United Arab Emirates, these huge circles of grass that are lush pitches with the wicket between in just the center there, in the middle of the desert, have been built predominantly by labor that is imported at an astonishingly cheap wage from India, from Pakistan, from that part of the world there that's not very far away. And the conditions have been horrible, and there have been terrible stories about that particular labor community who built these stadia. So that's constantly coming to mind as I look at these like brilliant, shining venue, and the grass in the middle of the desert is just, whew. And they're trying to have the football, soccer there as well. So coronavirus, while it's having a huge impact on normal humans, and we can see the very wealthy, they're exposed by it. They don't care. And I think they think it's all going to just continue the way it's been going. The Dream11 IPL, though, has thus this quality of unifying all cricket nations through individual players who are on Indian teams that are from all over the nation. So you have, so-called, if you will, Indo-Aryan and Dravidian cultures like the Chennai Super Kings or the Hyderabad Sunrisers or the Kolkata Knight Riders or the Royal Challengers of Bangalore, being southern with us. And you have cultures that are certainly lending labor and have been for throughout this whole process from the north and that coast over there as well. So there's a cultural connect that I think is happening that is totally unique as a result of the Indian Premier League being played in an Arab nation, especially given that the BJP and the situation at home is exploding right now in their faces, politically and socially and ethically. Coronavirus is doing that. It's ripping veils off, and so things are exposed. And the matches themselves have been fantastic and strange and filled with crazy results. The Super Kings, for example, who have perennially been quite good, were not doing well. And the victory today was much needed. Tomorrow morning, the Delhi Capitals and I believe Bangalore, right? Challengers, RCB, will be happening, and I'll be up to watch that. And I'm reflecting on how the IPL is for me, not for everyone. And I definitely have a unique situation because there's no one here in my area that cares or knows anything about cricket, nor do they have any feelings of interest, even, much less a beloved feeling for a hometown team, the place where I was born. And it's not something I can share with them because it's both too complicated and they don't have an interest. So I watch these games alone. And then I realized at around the third match that because I'm watching them alone, I'm not going to the bar to watch them, or I'm not stuck with American or Sky Sports product. I can put on any language I want. So the last 15 matches I've watched in my native tongue. Every morning now, I'm waking up and watching in Tamil. I mean, with Tamil commentary. And the treat of RJ Balaji, for example, is got me giggling, laughing over here with this feeling of connectedness to Chennai that is coming through the internet, projected as light just onto the wall, live. And the connection is intensely personal and perfect. Something that as a child I could only dream of, because I couldn't know anything that was happening with cricket or those things until I went to India the next time, the 3 years later, or a cousin came from India, or it wasn't in the newspaper here. There was no internet. There was no way to maintain or sustain this cultural element, which is painful to grow up here so far away. But I maintained it, or rather re-picked it up thanks to my nephew. And have been enjoying cricket so very much, alone. Totally alone. But in Tamil, which has been really great, because it's bringing back my language to me. The only person I spoke Tamil with every single day was Dad, who died, of course, 6 months ago. So he died, the COVID struck, the IPL was moved, all that happened in 3 months, and I was busy doing other things, etc. But when the IPL was announced in July that they were going to do this, a bubble in the United Arab Emirates, oh, it's fascinating. The Sharjah Stadium is proven to be very small. There's yet to be a score under 200 there. The other stadia are different. One larger. Dimensions are beautiful, quite beautiful. The matches have been amazing. And amidst all things bad in my life in the United States, either as an American or observing it as a human and not wanting to be an American in some instances or whatever, things like cricket or chess or games or endeavors that are happening in other countries that I like to follow with them there has been a place of peace, a place of civility, the gentleman's game, the politeness is there that you don't have in American sport. And here, amidst crisis and corona and quarantine and fires burning up the state and hurricanes and so on, cricket returning is soothing. It is something that brings ease. And my guess is to hundreds of millions, if not a billion people, that is what's happening right now in watching the Dream11 IPL from the United Arab Emirates, which I encourage you to do.